Daniel from Brazil, Stella from Germany, and our border collie Bonnie. We moved from the heart of Berlin all the way to the beautiful north of Portugal, trying to spend more time away from the computer screens. We are all about learning by doing, sharing our successes, fails, and the fun moments with you.
August was a month of big changes, big progress. We moved our tiny house to the new base because the old base was too close to the river.
So we had to unload everything, move the tiny house, load it all back, clean, organize. It was a big of a mess, but at least we got that done.
Our dog Bonnie was heavily pregnant, ready to get puppies any minute. We got many friends visiting. We explored a bit Sistelo. It's a little village nearby. That was August.
Yeah, so we did a lot in August.
The month started with a visit again. So my friend arrived middle of the night. It was everything pitch black, so she didn't see anything of the land.
And the road is also horrible, right? So every friend that comes here during the night is just horrible because they're like, oh, I think it's wrong. But it's also really nice because they don't see the land, right? It's everything pitch black and they get to see everything already here in the morning. So it's kind of nice that as well.
Yeah. So chill evening, they were staying in the tent, and then sharp 9 a.m. the sun is like hitting the tent and heating it up. So for them, it was time to get up as well. Bonnie was very happy. I greeted them. And we started the day with a land tour. Daniel is very good in giving the land tour, explaining where is the plan for what and how's the progress. And it's always nice to see friends visiting because it's nice to see their reaction on the land, and they loved it. And it feels really good. Yeah, besides this, we did a small tour, neighborhood, showing them around, and then walking next to the river to our property on the fisherman's path. It was quite an adventure because the grass was quite high and the thorns from all the raspberry and blackberry plants were growing over. So it was an adventure, but I think they enjoyed. I did a few barbecues, just chilling at the land. And then we also made a small trip to Sistelo, which is a really cute village close by. Daniel and my friend's boyfriend were just chilling at the river.
How is it, monsieur? Relaxed?
And me and my friend, we were like exploring a bit more. We walked on an ecovia, I think you call it, like this wooden path next to the river, which led to Sistelo, this little village. And it's cute because it has some really old buildings and like a small restaurant, a cafe. Very, very adorable. So when you're in the northern Portugal, it's worth a visit. It's cute. When my friend was leaving, they made a stop in Porto. I was joining because I was also going to Germany for work, but also for a wedding. And we had a beautiful evening there. At the Rua das Flores, you always find like some street musicians. And there's a girl who's performing, I think regularly because I saw her several times. And it's amazing, great performance. Nice. We're sitting there with some drinks, then going to our favorite restaurant, São Nicolau. I introduced my friend to shrimps, like the way they do it here in Portugal. She doesn't like shrimp so much, but this one she approved. It was really good. Everybody happy. And then the cherry on the top, there was a firework like next to the bridge. So it was a great end of the trip.
Regarding the construction, we were finishing the walls, right? The last walls were about to be done. The guys started to work on the top part of the house, so this triangle shape there. So it was really good to see that really started to take shape because of the walls. It was like, okay, now it feels like a house. So it was nice to be inside. It was nice to have a better sense of size.
Thinking about what we can do with our little balcony. It's large.
True, you put a hammock.
Yeah. Some hammock, chill, relax.
Also had some friends over. So Stella was traveling and this friend came here. It's actually the friend that come here all the time. Has been here already, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. It's crazy. And we did another hike. We got quite drunk on the previous night. We're very smashed. And the construction guy invited us in the day after to go for lunch with them, which was amazing. Restaurant close to us, we didn't know before, like just huge plate full of meat and potatoes and stuff. great for a hangover, and it was really, really nice to drive around and to hang out with them. After that, other than that, just regular cleaning from my side, preparing the tiny house so Stella could be here, could arrive.
You also started to take stuff out from the tiny house because
7:30. We just woke up now. We're trying to pack some things because the guys are arriving to move the tiny house. We still need to unload the
Everything.
TV, the couch, and yeah, basically all of these things. Nothing can be here.
and you already did a lot of preparation work while I was gone.
Yeah, so it was cleaning and removing everything.
Everything is out of the tiny house. So even the drawers, and we saw, wow, it's already dirty. Yeah, this needs to go. Here everything empty, almost.
TV, sound system.
This we did together, but all the small
No, but-
things you put in the tent already.
Yeah, everything I could take out and put in the tent.
Time to move the tiny house. Everything is out, everything in the tent.
The reason we moved the tiny house because it was too close from the river. We didn't know about it, and the first weekend we were sleeping here, it was just like crazy rain, lightning, thunders, and water. The river level was like crazy high, and we were just super scared. So we decided to move the tiny house, build another base somewhere way higher up. I think we're now, I don't know, like 3 meters higher, 2 meters higher. So, and it's more recluse place because the old spot was literally in the middle of the river when it rains a lot.
Yeah, it feels definitely safer here. Yeah, but the day of the moving started early, 9 a.m. And then the guys arrived. And the tricky part was the moving by itself because the new base, to reach there, it was very narrow. So first they needed to take the tiny house off the base. This was the easy part. Then they needed to go through 2 stones and then drive backwards up to place the tiny house on the base. It was a nightmare for us.
It's always very stressful, this tiny house stuff, right? There's no insurance, there's nothing. If something happens, we're fucked, yeah.
Yeah, ciao.
And they managed, great job. It was just really, really nice. At some point, the tiny house was just being like, the ramp was here and the tiny house was kind of sinking on the ramp. So we had to put some wood planks in the bottom so we could kind of help. We also had another excavator machine on the back, pulling the tiny house while the tractor was pushing it.
Then there was the tree in the middle where we needed to cut the branches because otherwise the tiny house got scratched a lot.
There's a huge stone next to it, so the things were like passing like centimeters on both sides. It was really stressful. But it worked. Now
It
we are
worked
here.
well.
We don't plan to move it anytime soon.
I hope never.
But
It's enough.
yeah, but at least things are looking good now.
So Bonnie likes to be everywhere all the time, right? And because of the machines, we needed to put her away. Bonnie was heavily pregnant. And Daniel usually whistles when he wants to call Bonnie. But Daniel whistled now whenever he wanted to tell the guys, like, hey guys, pay attention. So he like whistled. And whenever Daniel whistled, this pregnant lady was just jumping up and running to him.
Bonnie! Come here! Hey, come!
It was a bit
Yeah, not great
stressful
for the pregnancy. I guess.
No, I don't think so. But well, we managed to move. And then it was just like connecting electricity, moving the electricity box closer to the tiny house.
It's chaos here. And worst thing, issues with the pump.
Water, electricity stuff, it's always a pain. The water is always a pain. Always a pain. It's just not easy. Anyway, the electricity stuff, we still don't have the ground stuff set up because we need somebody to come here. We got a piece of copper, tried to hammer it down, but there's stones and we are horrible. We don't know, we cannot do anything. Manual work is just bad. We spend a lot of time, energy, and the outcome is horrible. So yeah, there's still these things to get solved.
But besides this, tiny house moved.
At the tiny house safe now.
Yeah, tiny house is safe now. And then was just after the move, cleaning up, putting all the things in. So it was basically within a few days, a move out and a move in. So I was taking all the things out of the tent, like carrying back to the tiny house, walking up the stairs. It was already work. And then took the wine bottles on my back and there was a massive rock sitting. Massive frog, and I touched it. It was already like, this soft creatures, it's not mine. And then this massive frog, he didn't want to move. And then Bonnie came, helped me to move it. It was just chaos.
Yes, Bonnie, come.
Yeah, we're literally just trying to, I don't know, decide on something here in the tiny house.
You and the guys.
Me and the other construction guys and stuff. And Stella was screaming at the tiny house like, ah!
The guys thought there was a snake, but no, it was just a frog, but a big one. To my
Which is
defense.
crazy that we have so many frogs. Now that the winter started, we have been doing some hikes, mini walks in the evening around the property, and they're always like big frogs. Now that we are safe and settled in this place, we're gonna build this outdoor deck around. So I'm trying to try to visualize more or less how we want to have the deck in the tiny house. So ideally having a way here, so that's the ramp up with grass, maybe some stones. Here's each one of the steps, and then you reach the deck of the tiny house. And we're making this funny way here so you can enjoy more of this area, but still have fairly good access around the tiny house. Maybe put some storage here on the back, and because here we have some stones, which makes some shelter. So yeah, that's the idea. So it's gonna be just wood and some rail fence to hold us, but it's just basically just wood. In a way that we can have a nicer, plain, clean outdoor area, and it still don't get dirty, because when it rains or when the dogs come in and out, it's just nightmare because they come from the mud directly to the tiny house, and it's just a mess.
Cleaning 24/7.
Cleaning 24/7. So we're hoping that once we have this wooden deck, we're gonna be able to store some things in the back, maybe put in like some storage room, not a storage room, but like a mini deposit thing, and maybe even the barbecue and some other things here to be using during the winter. So I hope that maybe in the next month or so we get this done.
And also, Bonnie. I want to talk about Bonnie. We had Bonnie's boyfriend visiting in July. In the beginning of August, we were still unsure, is Bonnie really pregnant or not? The vet said, you guys just need to wait, no need to come here. And we're like, okay, we will wait, we will see. And then from one day to the other, Bonnie was exploding in size. It was massive. And also, we started to see the baby, and we could also, like, in the end, like, feel the babies kicking from the inside. Daniel, what just happened?
So we're just doing some massage on the dogozinho, and we felt somebody kicking from the inside. Yes, it kicked for sure. Kicked my thumb. Oh no, what do you think about this, huh? Are you going to allow this behavior already? Not good. Oh, let me see this bed. Oh, she's so tired. Oi. Oi, she's so done. Haven't done shit the whole week.
It was very nice to see. It was crazy. And also Bonnie always like exhausted and way more cuddlish than usually.
Yeah, and that was it, I think, for July.
It was August.
That's it for August.